Hello everyone out there in YouTube land, and welcome to all our new subscribers and the people who've been posting really kind comments about the last review that I did. In the spirit of that, I'm going to follow it up, and as I've been promising, this is the replacement for the Strandberg guitar. So introduce myself, my name is Bruce from brucedarlingtonguitar.com. Feel free to get in touch about lessons, t-shirt choices, anything you feel like. So let's not witter on. I'm going to do the same style review where I kind of make it up. I'm not going to do a load of shreddy playing and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not going to play the tone of the guitar over YouTube so you can hear it really badly. If you want to feel how the guitar feels or hear how it sounds, get one and play it and see what you think. So the replacement for the £3,000 handmade Strandberg guitar is a Steinberger. A £350 mass-produced Chinese Steinberger. Wow. Okay, let's talk you through it quickly. The reasoning behind, I took ego out of the picture. I wanted the ergonomic guitar. Watch the last video, you'll see why, all the playing I'm doing, all that kind of stuff. I wanted the ergonomics. But my ego said, hey Bruce, you're a musician, you're a professional musician, you've done all this stuff, you've taught all over Europe, you've done master classes, you've senior examiner for an exam board, you've lectured at university, you've got a PhD in music. You should have a £3,000 handmade guitar which is built from angel dust and unicorn tears and fretted with hopes and dreams and strung with who knows what. When I took that out of the picture, because the Strandberg was a bit of a disaster, I took that out of the picture and I went, well, this kind of looks like it does everything I want, and it's £350. So for a punt, if I get it and it's a nightmare and then the shop won't take it back, remember Strandberg were really good about refunding my money, they were great. If these guys were awful, the people I bought it from, so I bought it online during lockdown, no shops are open or anything, if they're awful, it's only £330, £350 with the postage. If that goes, I won't be happy about it. I don't want to go around giving £350 away, but I won't lose tons and tons of sleep over it. Not like £3 grand, that would be a completely different kettle of fish. So let's start at the top of this and work our way down. So we've got, I think you can see there, double ball end strings. So the way it works is like a little tray here that you use the tuning mechanism to open the tray up. You pop the ball end in there, take the string up to the top, the ball end drops in, and there's nothing, there's like a little bit of elasticy stuff. Don't think it's doing very much. There's nothing holding them in there except the awesome power of physics. The pull down here, I don't know how many pounds pull it is, I'm sure some people watching could tell us per string, but it's a lot. You know, high tension wires, Steve Morse wasn't joking. If you're getting your strings and pulling them up this way, they might well pop out. If you're doing that, you're doing something that I don't know about on guitar, so feel free to send me a video of your cool album where you're doing this with the strings, because I've never heard it. Anyway, they pop in there, they come over the 0 fret, which is quite well made, it's all good. They come down body, they pop into the little tray thing here, and then as you tighten them, it just pulls the tray this way, which tensions the strings, and you're away. A string change from taking the old ones off, you don't have to cut anything, you just slacken it off and they fall out. A string change took me about 2.5 minutes to being in tune and playable. Wow! I owned an Ibanez for years with a low pro edge floating bridge and a locking nut. That was like 20 minutes. It was a procedure. With this, no special tools, except for me, I'm kind of a special tool. No special tools, no nothing needed. Just, yes, put the strings on, tighten them up, and you're good. Stretch them off a bit and you're away. So let's talk about the make of the guitar. Now the practicality of that is out of the way. Working on down, you've got the 0 fret nut, which again makes the difference to the open chords. It really gives them some resonance, which is nice, rather than the plastic nut. The frets are just normal frets, they're not stainless steel frets or anything like that. You've got a rosewood, allegedly, fingerboard. I don't know, it could be, might not be, feels okay. The neck is mahogany, the body is mahogany. Apparently it's neck through. the guitar, so it's not a bolt-on. Now, given where the neck is and where the pickups start, the neck can only go like this much into the body. It can't be a lot. It's not going right the way through, so don't get that idea. But when you play the strings, you can feel the resonance against your chest through the wood, which is really, really nice. And I like that about the Strandberg. This is just, what, £2,650 cheaper. So, you know, it's a difference. The radius on the fretboard, I think, is 12-inch. Yeah, I didn't do a huge amount of research on this. I kind of dived in, and I'm so surprised. Dot inlays coming down. Now, what throws me with the guitar is where the neck joins the body here. The neck joins at the 22nd fret. You can see. So you have access right the way up here with no funny cutouts, no nothing. Now you can say the whole guitar looks funny. Obviously, it does look a bit odd. It's certainly of its time. But for practical playing, the thing I find is I keep disorienting myself. So I'm amazed by how much I always oriented where I was on the fretboard by where the horn was on the guitar, where the body ends. And so I keep overshooting. So I'll be teaching or playing or something. I go, right, so I go to the 12th fret and I'll shoot up here because I've not got anything in my eye line. So keep that in mind. If you're going to buy one and gig it that night, get used to it first. Frets are all nice and level. The neck is nice and straight. That was all good. It holds tuning like you wouldn't believe. Once you put it in tune, that's kind of it. I tune this like once a week, and that's no exaggeration. I've had this now for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. I bought it the week after the Strandberg went back and I got my refund, and I've just hardly ever touch it, and I play tons. This has been my main playing guitar. I picked up my Music Man and my Fender the other day to do some stuff on them, and they were dusty from being sat over in the guitar stand in the corner. Wow, £350. £350, I could buy like 10 of these in loads of different colours and stuff. Now I went for the yin yang, obviously with the Zen Buddhism and the martial arts and that kind of stuff. Yin yang seemed like a bit of a cheesy why not. It goes all the way back on the neck as well. That's so cool. The neck is a slim taper D profile. What that means for me is I have an Epiphone, which is absolutely my favourite guitar, a 70s Sheraton. It's got Sheraton Epiphone by Gibson on the headstock. Very, very rare apparently, and it has the best playing neck of anything that I've ever owned. But it's so delicate, I can't gig with it. I never even take it to classes or anything like that, because it falls apart. If it goes out in sunlight, it's like a vampire. It's done. Whereas this, you probably throw this down the stairs and it's fine. And £350, I'll buy another one. But it fits beautifully. All the stuff I was staying with the Strandberg, where I couldn't get my hand round for vibrato and bending felt really weird. This is just there. Everything just fits perfectly. I'm a little gushy. You can probably tell. I'm very excited about this. It's coming down the neck. We get to the body, mahogany body. It weighs about £7 or so, which sounds heavy. It's heavier than my Music Man, which is like £5.5, £6. But you really don't feel it, and we'll see why shortly. The pickups are horrific. Don't let me sugarcoat this at all. They are awful. The best thing you can say is they work. If you've got a high distortion sound on, so you're doing some kind of leady playing or whatever, they're fine. As soon as you put it on a clean tone, it's like, ugh. It's not a good thing at all, but they work. Single volume knob, single tone control. They both feel really chunky, and the turning action is really nice. You can get some precision. The fact that pickups aren't up to cleaning the tone up or any kind of precision, that's not the fault of the pots and the knobs, but the pickups are pretty bad. I suspect the pots are pretty cheap as well. 5-way switch. Feels really nice. It's really, really good action to it. I've had much more expensive guitars that feel cheaper than that, so that was a surprise. The bridge is a bit of an odd one. So as I've already said about where the strings go in, but if you look at the back of the bridge, you've got this jobby here, and we've got a hole in the bridge. It has a trem, and when you click this, it becomes a floating bridge. Now, as it is at the moment, I've got it locked. I hardly ever play floating bridge stuff anymore. I came to the realization I am not, in fact, Steve Vai a while ago. Don't let the posters fool you. I know there is nothing. So I have it locked for most of the music that I play, and as I said, the tuning stability is amazing, but when you use the trem, it's really good as well. You just unlock this jobby here, put the trem in, and you're away. So it's pretty bomb-proof. There are two strap buttons, so you can put the strap either side, which affects the way that it sits. But now let me get to the best bit of this guitar. The reason for this is ergonomics. The reason to have a guitar like this, apart from maybe a statement or transport, people call them travel guitars, but I'm not traveling anywhere with this. I'm playing this thing 6-7 hours a day, is when I put the guitar on. Actually get the strap sorted out. You know, it's gone all the wrong way on me. No, that'll do. So I actually put the guitar on. It sits exactly where I want it. My hands are perfect there. Now the lower horn here, or the low part of the body here, is just about touching my thigh, but it's not really resting on it, it's all resting on the strap. But because it's so central, and there's nothing in the way, there's no funny cutouts, there's not a lot of body or anything, it's not doing this either way. I promise you that's absolutely rock solid. This is exactly where I want to play. The lack of body is no problem. I was worried about that. I thought maybe it's going to feel like it's all on your wrist, it's going to be a bit awful. This is the opposite of those big jazz boxes where you're kind of like this and your shoulders all over the place. This sits back, my hand is in perfect position. I've found my picking has changed an awful lot from being at a really good angle. I don't feel like I'm doing any of this at all. Left hand wise, all those kind of big stretches and the 3-note per string scales and the tapped arpeggios and whatever are suddenly available again. They're really good because I got so fed up of having to do this around a regular guitar. Your guitar's here and you go, I want to stretch, I've got to work my way around. I got so fed up of that I'd stopped doing it, and I hadn't even realised I'd stopped doing it. Then I play this thing and I suddenly go, oh, I'll do that thing. I'll do that, it's great. Your stretch is terrific. I've not got massive hands, and that's a what, 7 to the 13th fret stretch. It feels great. I can't recommend this guitar enough. I opened the back up just because the input had gone a bit loose. So I opened it up to tighten it up, and I was expecting at this price point that these are held together with optimism more than anything. But actually the wiring inside is pretty tidy. The routing out is pretty tidy, that's all fine. It has this thing here, the pull down. Now if you wanted to sit it on your right leg like a regular guitar, it will sit there quite happily. Not going anywhere. If you want to put it on your left leg like a classical guitar, I find the angle very, very steep there. That feels flying V-y, V-ish, V-y. It feels like a flying V, that's it, to me, and I feel like I'm doing this again to get round to it. So I much prefer sitting with the strap, with it actually on, and everything just works perfectly. Anything else I need to tell you about on this guitar? I really don't think so. Let me tell you the really cool stuff then. I have, since I decided to keep this guitar, decided to upgrade it. So I have a friend named Doug Abram, who's a very, very good guitar tech, a nationally recognised guitar tech. If you want to look him up, he will love any business from you. He does a fantastic job of everything. Since I think I started using him for guitar teching about 2016, I was going to Italy to do some masterclasses over there, and my music man just decided to throw a complete wobbler. Everything went. I tried to fix it and just made it all worse. So I took it in. Doug did this amazing job on it, and it held up for the whole kind of tour that I was over there, and everything was fantastic. I've ordered some stuff on his recommendation. I'm getting some authentic paths which are going to go in. I've got to find a way to replace the middle pickup yet. I haven't chosen one because it doesn't have that triangular sort of routing on the wood bit here. If you see on most pickups, if you buy a normal single coil, it won't fit. You need one that's almost like a Telecaster but not as wide. So I'm going to have some paths put in. Got new pots, new knobs, new switch selector, new input jack coming, and I've bought a string adapter for the end. The double ball ends are amazing, as I said, for quick string changes. There are two problems with them. One, they're made by either terrible companies who you just don't want to buy strings from, because they're really poor quality, or D'Addario, who are fine, but I don't like. I'm not a fan. I like Ernie Ball strings. I've always used them, and you like what you like. So I've bought a string adapter from the top, which worked out at about £35 with postage, maybe a bit more, and import duty. You have to pay, of course. From a guy in New York, who I'll put the link below. He was a great guy to deal with. He was really quick to send it out, and all it does is there are two little tiny kind of screw holes in here, so it's just a block. I should really have had it on, but I haven't had to change the strings yet on it because it came with some and I bought some. So it just sits on there, and again, it's kind of physics that holds it in place, so the tension of the string going this way just keeps it on. In the literature the guy sends you, which is just like a pamphlet, he's very clear to say, don't loosen all 6 strings because it will just fall off the end because there's then no tension holding it on. But that is a proper, the strings go in and then you lock the top so it locks the string down, and that means you can use any brand string you want. You don't need double ball ends. Normal string goes in there, ball end goes down the bottom, so I'm straight back on my Ernie Ball 10s or the Cobalt strings or whatever you want to use. You can stick the things on there. So I can't get over how cool this guitar is. I honestly, oh, another thing, because of the shape, this doesn't actually touch the floor. When I stand it like that, these are slightly lower than this, so it's not touching that, because I was worried about that. But I just place it at the side. I don't have to kind of get up, go over to the guitar stand, put it on the guitar stand, go and bring it back. I'm not lumbering around the place with my guitar. I'm at a desk, as you can see. I've got a wall behind me. This is where I teach and do stuff all day long on Skype and streaming stuff. So the guitar's just there and it's ready to go. I don't need a stand, so when I get up, all the space I'm moving around is that. And it feels liberating. It's so crazy to have this thing around. I can put it over here just at the side, and I can leave it there all day. It's not in the way of my feet. You know, guitar stands, they've got the feet sticking out, and you've got the body bit that holds the guitar, then the bit that comes around the neck, and you're always worried about banging into it or knocking it over. There's none of that with the Steinberger. Now, you know, it's Gibson, because Gibson bought Steinberger out back in the day, and now I sound old saying back in the day. Only old people say back in the day, because young people, you're still in the day, it's your day. But back in the day, Gibson bought Steinberger out, and obviously the quality went because it's Gibson. You know, you would never buy an expensive Gibson product over the internet, because you just you might well get a box with broken bits and assembly instructions saying this is the best we could do today, and then tomorrow you go and try one and this is the best made guitar ever. So with the Gibson quality control, and they moved the production from Korea to China, I'd expected poor quality. I'd expected sharp fret edges, I'd expected a wonky neck, I'd expected uneven fret heights, all that stuff. None of that. It was playable. It was playable straight out of the box. Now the guitar place I bought it from had not done a setup on it, so the action was high, things like that. But as soon as you change those, and it was super easy to change, as soon as you change that stuff, it was just no problem. I'm astonished by the quality of it for £350, and you can get them in quilted finishes. I've no idea what they look like. They may look terrible, but the yin yang one, for me, I love that. It's so distinctive. And if you think about the players who've played them, you've had guys like Van Halen, what's his name from Genesis, guitar player from Genesis. Oh, I can't remember. But anyway, a whole load of really good guitar players played these things for a while. Now, it's obviously not the original Steinberger, which was a plastic resin and a carbon fibre neck and all that stuff. But they're like £3.5 grand or so on eBay second hand, or pre-loved, or Gumtree or Reverb. £350 new, had a guarantee. If it was broken, I could send it back. It was no problem. It's a complete no-brainer. If you're after an ergonomic guitar that sits here where your hands naturally go, as a human being, my hands work like this. That's great. That feels fine for my hands. This is not. I haven't had a serious car accident. This is not how my body naturally kind of moves around and looks. So anyway, I have gushed about that enough. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free with any comments. Try and keep them clean, please. That would be great. And I will see you on the next video where when I get all the pickups and the mods done and stuff, I'll talk about how that went. So thanks very much guys. Bruce from Bruce Darlington Guitar signing off. Take care.